Hello and greetings, YouTube. Runa Alfrennen here. Welcome to my channel to listen to me talk about something today. Now, I would like to share with you a word of warning and a lesson that I have learned. Now, there's a couple things that I want to talk about. This might be a couple videos. I don't know. I'll try to keep it short since I have a tendency to be long-winded. So, excuse me, I have recently come to another situation where somebody in my life is in a less than desirable situation. Abusive, sort of toxic relationship. And being as I'm a survivor of a very horrific toxic relationship, and I've known people who have been in other horrific toxic relationships, it is a touchy subject to me, and it is not one that I am to take lightly when I see things going on that I don't find to be desirable. Now, I'm careful. I don't like to judge people a lot. I really don't. I mean, who the fuck am I? But when you've assessed things over a period of years and compiled all of the things that you've noticed together and made some realizations and some real discernments about a situation and about a person or people, and well, you've figured out that, something has to be done about this, and then some things happen that give you a lead in, essentially. Maybe it's time that you talk about it. And, especially for someone like me that has various triggers surrounding that type of behavior, to make sure that I'm not just being oversensitive about it, which I always do. I'm not one to jump to conclusions and let my own personal, real, mentally professed triggers get in the way of me talking to someone about something in their life, because it's not fair to me. That's not fair to them. So I've made sure that in this situation, my own mental illness is not driving me. And I then proceeded to talk to this friend about this, to which I was shrugged off, and I was basically said, sometimes it's good to keep your mouth shut, and stuff of that line. Now, I don't believe in overlooking truth, especially in the case of abuse, and the case of such heinous treatment, especially people who I actually call my friend, or who would even go the next step to become family to me. And I take family very seriously. And you're going to start calling me your sister? I'm going to treat you like we're blood, and I'm going to make sure that you're safe. And I'm not someone that likes confrontation all the time, so it's not like I'm going to run my mouth constantly, but if I see a fit situation and a safe situation to where I'm going to speak up on behalf of something, I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but I'm not going to be mean about it either. But I'm not going to lie to you about it either. Now, the reason I decided to talk about this in this channel was because not only is this a hard thing to go about doing, and something that I'm sure a lot of people on this path go for, because we tend to value the truth. People who are serious about this path tend to go for the truth and revealing said truth. And that is never an easy thing, because nobody likes someone who talks about the truth all the time, because the truth hurts, doesn't it? But, well, that's what I do, apparently. But the reason I'm talking about this is because something I've encountered more than once in my life is there's a situation that is being professed on a mundane level that is actually being influenced on a spiritual level that is not seen by anyone else, and by people who don't know how to pick up on the signs and who are not sensitive to such things. And in fact, my own experience with an abusive relationship did have that kind of aspect to it. It wasn't something like we were hexed, but it was an attachment. And it was a long story, but it made everything much, much worse. And I don't want anyone else to go through that, you know? And I have seen what the effects of this particular kind of thing can have on someone that wants to tell the truth. Because if something negative is causing havoc in a particular situation or between a group of people or in a relationship between however many people, you know, it's the 20 teens, there's plenty of poly people out there. And such people, the spirit or negative entity gets comfortable and doesn't really like its gig being messed up and will fight back. And my message to you is to ensure that if you have a means of being spiritually aware of things, and like doing readings, divination, if you are sensitive and everything, don't separate your intuition from the mundane things you see, because these things may very well be influenced or attracting negative things, and you might get hurt if you try to talk about it. And it was a situation where I actually forgot that I had noticed something on one of the people involved a year or two ago that I never really decided to deal with for specific reasons. There's certain times where we can't fight everyone's battles, and there's just certain inopportune situations where the person themselves is just going to continue to be a magnet for it, and it's not going to help by trying to cleanse them. So, what can you do? Exactly. But I'd forgotten that I had noticed things on this particular individual who had noticed me when I picked up on it. And we kind of had ourselves a standoff and saying like, all right, well, I've noticed you and you've noticed me. What are you going to do about it, bitch? And, well, it didn't like me speaking up to this individual's spouse about the treatment and the actions that this individual is professing toward their family and spouse. And I suffered quite the mindfuck attack off of that, and it took me a little bit to realize why I started feeling that way, because I couldn't figure out why I was suddenly so screwed up in the head and feeling so almost gaslit by